Hello and welcome everybody to my session on product design with CATIA on the 3D Experience platform. In this session, we will discover how we can create and design our shapes for our product and visualize it, do virtual reality reviews, and experience our product all on the 3D Experience platform in a single workflow, in a unified workflow. So let's start. Yeah, as mentioned, we have a completely unified workflow from the first ideation to concept modeling, surface refinement, and design validation, design experience, all in a unified workflow on the 3D Experience platform. I have a short video to illustrate that here with the example of the creation of a coffee machine. So we are in CATIA on the 3D Experience platform. On the top left, you can always see which application we are using at the moment. So we first threw in a human with human design in order to be sure to have the right proportions in our scene. And then I loaded 2D images, sketches, and from this 2D sketches, I create a 3-dimensional sketch in Natural Sketch. Then I start with subdivision surface modeling in order to explore my design, explore my shape. We call it digital clay. So you can really sculpt very quickly different shapes and explore your perfect shape until you get to something like this. So this is the main body of the coffee machine. And thanks to the associativity of CATIA, I can always go at any stage and change my design, and the rest of the scene tree that you see on the left will follow. So I can really explore my design while I'm modeling in 3D. So here I'm still in CATIA on the 3D Experience platform, and I start to assign materials already. So at the very early stage, I have a feedback of the actual color, for example, here, and material. And that's this also while I'm still in my modeling environment. So here you see that I'm modeling with the feedback of this aluminium, for example, or metal. And I have here this glossy finished. But yeah, I'm still in CATIA, so I can always go and change the shape and all that in a quite good visual representation of my final product. So here I just change the color to explore this coffee machine in a different color. And then sadly, what you don't see here in this video, but what is also possible since 2017, is that I at any time review my model directly out of CATIA with VR glasses. So I can just, with a click of a button, review my model in virtual reality. You will see this in later videos as well, how this works. So yeah, those are just some screenshots out of the real-time visualization out of CATIA. So with this approach, we change the complete workflow that you usually have while designing models with CATIA or other CAD software. So traditionally, it was just creating the first shapes, then convert to the visualization, and then maybe in the visualization phase, you recognize, okay, we need to rework the shapes because something is not fitting, something doesn't look perfectly. So you go back to the shape, then you convert to the shape modeling, then you convert again to the visualization, and then yeah, visualize it and experience it again. And now as well, maybe then you have a game engine or something to generate your VR experiences. On the 3D Experience platform with CATIA, this whole process has changed, as you were able to see in the video before. At any stage we can launch VR, and at any stage we have access to the visualization. So it's a completely integrated workflow rather than doing one step after another. I quickly would like to go through all the different applications that we have in CATIA design. So the first thing here is human design. So I usually, when I design something like a coffee machine or basically any product, I really like to start with throwing a human in my scene in order to have a better representation of the proportions. If you have a human and you know this human is, I don't know, 1.80 meters, so you can define that, of course, in the application. You know the exact proportion of your model. So here it's a smart cooking device in this example. Then the next application that we have also seen in the video quickly is CATIA Natural Sketch. So sketching in 3D and also in the context of 3D data. Of course, you could do this just with a mouse, but it's much more fun with a tablet from Wacom, for example. For me, there are two main use cases for that. One is really to invent or create ideas in 3D in the context of 3D data. And the other use case you can experience in the following video, and that's for communication purposes. So let's say you have this car, as in this example, and then one manager or head designer would like to share with his team what they should work on to make it a more sportier version. So he doesn't need to have the skill to operate in CATIA. He could just use Natural Sketch in order to quickly sketch some ideas onto existing 3D data. So it's a real good tool for communication purposes. Of course, you can also sketch curves directly on existing 3D data, as you can see here on the hood. Also, what we have implemented since this year is the possibility to not just review in virtual reality, but also sketch in VR. The next thing is CATIA Imagine and Shape, subdivision surface modeling. As I mentioned, we call it as well digital clay. And it helps to really quickly generate different ideas and explore different shapes, because you can always select those control points and drag them anywhere you like. It's very stable. So here you see an example how Imagine and Shape is used. So again, we start with the human, and then the person here, the user here, is modeling the seat around this human. So you start with a base shape, and then you subdivide it more in order to define the position of your shape. This is also what I've used to generate the main part of the coffee machine from the video. And the surface quality is pretty good. So for soft parts, it's often also used as the final surfaces to go directly into the tooling by many of our customers. In Imagine and Shape, there's also a feature, it's called detailed design, and I would like to point that one out. With this one, you can generate out of a 2D image, as you can see here on the left, just a black and white image. You can generate real 3D data that can even be printed. So that's how this looked like. So in order to generate a pattern like this, it could take you, I don't know, some hours to do it with basic CATIA modeling features. But with this detailed modeling, you just take this 2D image and you just project it onto your subdivision surface, and it generates the 3D data for you. Of course, not a perfect surface quality, but already quite good surface quality, good enough to 3D print it, for example. since all the surfaces that we create in CATIA are real CATIA surfaces, doesn't matter if it's Bezier patches from CATIA ISIM or CATIA NURBS from part design or generative shape design, or subdivision surfaces from Imagine and Shape. All the surfaces we create are real CATIA surfaces, so they can interact with each other, which means that they are compatible. Like this, we can really use the method that we need in this specific time. We can start with one method and then just change in the modeling process the method, the modeling method to another, and everything interacts with each other. So I have a quick video which maybe better explains this. So I have a subdivision surface from Imagine and Shape here. Again, on the top left, you can always see in which application we are at the moment. So I trim together two subdivision surfaces with a parametric fillet. And of course, thanks to the associativity, I can always go and change and change the base surfaces, and everything else will update. So here now I'm in generative shape design, and I project this NURBS curve onto the subdivision surface, and still everything will update. And I can use then this projected curve in order to split my subdivision surface. Now I'm in CATIA ISIM, and I create a Bezier patch. And I use this Bezier patch to trim my subdivision surfaces and the NURBS curve. And even that works. So I can always switch between the different application and modeling methodologies, and use what I need at the time when I need it, and that makes it so powerful to model in CATIA. Also, one application that is new is Generative Design, and with this application you can create generative patterns. As you can see here, I was at the ERR I think 1 month ago, it was, right? And almost every second car has patterns all over. So this is really a huge trend at the moment. And those patterns can be created with Generative Design. I also brought a quick video for that. So what you will receive when you have worked with Generative Design is a list of different values that you can always change in order to influence your pattern. But yeah, here you can observe that we have like this base surface, I think that represents a grille of a car. And then you have different nodes that you connect in order to generatively create your patterns. And also one very interesting fact is that this is one of the first applications that we have which work completely in the browser. That means you don't need to install anything locally on your PC. The whole application is done, and the whole modeling is done directly in your browser, in your Google Chrome, in your Internet Explorer or Firefox browser. So yeah, you see that in the end you can influence with values the look of the pattern. I will go a bit back, show that again here. Yeah, here are some examples out of the aerospace where we used it to generate those tables on the seat. Also, what we have completely integrated is the visualization part. The application called for that is called CATIA Live Rendering. So we made a huge step forward in the real-time visualization, as you can see here as well. So in CATIA V5, that was usually how we looked at our 3D data. But now on the 3D Experience platform, this is the visualization that we can have if we have assigned already our materials while we are still modeling. How this is set up. So this is a quick video to illustrate that. So you have your gray shaped CATIA model on the 3D Experience platform, and then you can of course, from a material library, assign the different materials to your model. You can choose between different HDR images, which take care of the lighting. You can play kinematics, of course, as well in real time. Yeah, you can do sections and stuff then as well once you have assigned your materials, and observe, for example, this engine here with materials assigned. So yeah, that's the level of real-time visualization that we have now on the platform. You can add also some depth of field to give some blurriness into the background, so some sort of artistic effects here. And of course, you can at any stage adjust the color of the materials. Change the material, change the material properties. See that with a carbon fiber, for example. So that's a substance material. I will also talk about that a bit. It's for those of you who don't know substance materials yet, you have some parameters to influence the actual texture of the material itself. I have another example of that. So yeah, what you see here, so what you saw before was all just the real-time visualization, but of course, in order to have physical correct behavior of lights and shadow and reflections, we also have the ray tracing mode, and we have implemented a rasterizer. So when you switch on the ray tracing, you get those iterations that you can see here. But we have now this rasterizer, which is sort of an algorithm which, before it even calculated all the ray trace nodes through, usually when you move your model, you get those iterations, and then you have to wait quite long until you get a crisp image. But with this rasterizer, you get a clear image much faster, because it sort of estimates how it would look like without those iterations, and then shows you a clear image. And even when it shows you this clear image, below it's still rendering in order to make it look sharper, behind this first visualization. And then if you let it render out or through the whole model, then this is what you get. So representation of your materials on your model with physical correct behavior of lights and shadows. Yeah, you can create high-end renderings as well out of CATIA, of course. So this is the Coffeemachine that we saw from the video earlier. Or here you have a camera. Bathroom. Just some examples. That's a train which I've done quite a while ago. Of course, the picture here, I'm based in Hamburg, so the picture I took here on the harbor, train station on the harbor, and then the front part is modeled and rendered with CATIA. Also interior or car, automotive examples. You can also render out animations, so camera flights, of course. Some more examples of this motorcycle. I also mentioned that we also have the possibility to access at any time
the VR glasses without any extra preparation. So just right out of your CATIA scene, at any stage with a click of a button, you can launch VR and review your model in virtual reality. So here are the things that or the devices that we support directly out of the 3D Experience platform. So head-mounted displays as the HTC Vive, power walls, and caves, and even caves with VR clusters. So yeah, here you just select it from your menu and then launch it. I have a quick example for that. So we are in CATIA. This gear stick of this Golf has been done with Imagine and Shape in this case. So again, I can really explore my design by moving those control points. I have high quality visual feedback from the materials. So I tried out something a bit crazy. And then I can change the lighting situation with different HDR images. And then at any stage, I can launch the VR glasses without any preparation of my scene or something. And I can review my changes that I've done instantly in virtual reality and evaluate them if I like this or if I need to change it back because I don't know, it's too big now. Also, this works now collaborative, so we can connect with multiple people into the same VR session. And this could be done from everywhere around the globe. So someone could sit in Europe and the other person is, in this example, in the US, and they can connect to the same VR session, to the same CATIA model. Also, one new application that we have since this year, which I like a lot, is the Product Experience Presenter. And this one lets you create design presentations of your model, of your scene directly in CATIA. So let's say you have a presentation that you need to do to the board or maybe even to a customer of your CATIA model. So you can quickly use this application to generate a really nice presentation of your model. I can show that. So that's a car that I've done. And I've generated the presentation. So I have some thumbnails that I can use in order to play quick animations or switch through different configurations, different colors, open doors, stuff like that, in order to really demonstrate my model in a quick and nice way. Here I can use human design as well for the presentation of the model. I blend out some doors so I can have a look at the interior. You can move the seats and have a small animation with that. And the great thing is that this design presentation is really connected to your 3D model. So if someone else is now modeling still on this car, every change he does is directly updated onto my presentation. So I can create the presentation very early in the process. Maybe I have a first review with my manager, I create this presentation, and then I don't need to do anything else. I just leave the presentation and I continue to work on the model, do maybe the changes that my manager tells me to, and the design presentation will always be on the latest stand of your model because it's directly connected to the CATIA data.
And that was it from my side. I hope that was interesting and exciting for you. And I hope to see you in one of our next sessions soon. Thanks and bye-bye.